Welcome. Kindly subscribe to the Black Empire.
Of farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you.
What's the message?
Jesus died on that cross so we could live, and this is not living.
My town in Georgia is suffering because of Trump's tariffs. And I see now that the entire plan of Project 2025 and these tariffs and everything was to bankrupt all small businesses.
White people continues to suffer and they continue to cry every single day. The reason they're crying is because they voted for a government to help them make their country great again. But instead of the government making their country great again, their government is making their country worse again. Okay? And this is not what they voted for. They are even admitting they voted for Trump into the government, but they're regretting. They're saying this isn't what they voted for. But what I'm saying is this is what they voted for, because the difference is that they did not know this is what they are actually voting for, because they were lied to. And whatever the president said during his campaigns is not what he's exactly doing. Or maybe what they thought when he was saying he's going to do the same things, they thought maybe they looked at it in a different way, and they thought maybe it's going to help them, or it's going to maybe make them better or something like that. Now, their crops are being destroyed. Their farms are being destroyed. There is nothing they're getting from what they're planting, and they're feeling like things are getting even more worse. So what they're doing is they're asking the black people to help them, to speak for them. Even Latinos are also asking the black people to try and speak on their behalf, because right now what they're going through and the silence of the black people is killing them. Take a look at these videos. We shall come back and talk about it.
MAGA, you do realize that the Republican Party, including Donald Trump, are using you. You see, as a Democrat, we've been used as well. For the past 60 years, the Democratic Party has used black people to push their liberal agenda. Now, that is me saying that I agree with you in principle, but I disagree with you when you vote against your own interests, and you see the results of your actions that you took this past November at the ballot box. You see that what is happening in Texas, it's not an anomaly. That is something that happened because of the failures of politicians that put money first. You see, children are dead. It doesn't matter the color of the children. Children are dead. And they are dead because of racism, hatred, and bigotry. They are dead because white folks voted against their own interests. They voted to gut programs that helps them out. Go figure. You see, both political parties, both, and this is coming from a Democrat, both of them has taken advantage of the poor and the indigent people. They are going to cause you to fight your brothers and sisters in the streets of this country, shed blood. The elites are. They are setting everything in motion, upsetting you, putting you in a place that you're going to have to make a decision here shortly to kill your brothers and your sisters, all while fighting against your best interests.
When it comes to the white farmers who are losing all of their workers and are about to lose their farms, I say that's the way it was always meant to be. You were never meant to employ all of these people for little to nothing when it comes to your ancestors and be able to make a profit off of it. It was never meant to be the cool, rad thing that your family does for generations to make money. It was never honest work. It was never honorable. It was always tainted. It always involved holding people against their will to squeeze every single dime you could out of them, whether by force or by threat. It was always about that. And it was never right for this country to make that their foundation and their road to wealth. And so now that it's crumbling, we are returning to the original form of what things should have been. So there you go. I get that they work hard and some of these farms have been passed down from generation to generation. Well, for generation after generation, we've had all of the stuff that you have piled onto us passed down each and every time. I don't want anyone to suffer out here. I don't want anyone to be on the streets or lose their possessions or anything. And I don't want anyone to be exploited for their work either. I don't want anyone building off of the backs of people they deem less than human. So if you're already doing that and you lose the things that you've gained, if you're finally reaping what you sowed, so be it.
So I know I was talking about, the Latino vote before. The Viva vote for Donald Trump. Okay, well, let's get on to the white folks. The white farmers. So, word is out now that the white farmers voted for Donald Trump because they thought they were going to get Black Americans in the fields. Because they also thought Black folks did not have jobs. So when we put this all together, somehow the white farmers were convinced that Black folks don't have jobs. We don't work. we don't work. And so they voted for Donald Trump because they thought, okay, he gonna send them in the fields. So Donald Trump and them, with their whole Project 2025, said, okay, so we got to make this happen. So we got to cut these DEI stuff, all this DEI stuff, to put Black Americans out of work. When in reality, they put a bunch of white folk out of work just to get Black folks out of work. And so all these cuts that are happening are to try and harm Black Americans so much till they think that we're going to go into the fields. Now, when you think about that, that makes you double back and see why they want the Latinos out. Because the Latinos, right, to them, they are reproducing entirely too fast, okay? And so they're like, we got to get them out of here because Black Americans don't reproduce as fast as the Latinos. And so if we could get them out, then the Black Americans can take their place in the field. This is for real. And so now you double back to the Black jobs. They're taking your job. Yes, you got to double back to what he said. They're taking Black jobs, y'all. Like, they have all this down. Like, they have all this whole circle. So now let's go back to the farmers, if you're still with me, okay? Because the white farmers, that's what they believed that was going to happen. So if y'all got all that straight, this is the message to the white farmers. The last thing you want is for Black Americans to be in your fields. Don't let the devil fool you. As a matter of fact, you might want to let the devil fool you to see what's going to happen. Well, I'm trying to tell you, the last thing you ever gonna want is Black Americans in your fields. Nah, I'm gonna let you fill in the blank on that one. And this goes to show that they will go to any lengths. Remember I said that, first of all, we had the Latinos, some Latinos, not all of them, just them Cuban ones, talk about you're next, right? To Black Americans. So they thought we was immigrants, okay? And so now we have the white farmers who are still living in the 1700s, thinking back to glory days, quote unquote. They thought with their vote, we were going to the fields. So you got one group thinking they gonna kick us out of here, and you got another group of people thinking that we going to the fields. Now this right here is a real mental problem, because people are literally stuck. I'm telling y'all, people are stuck in the 1700s when they think about Black Americans, okay? I'm telling you, their thought process, they sit around probably at campgrounds and picnics and stuff and talk about how can we make this happen? That was their heyday. I'm telling you, when that freaking plantation house burned down in Louisiana, I think, right? That was their heyday. Now I'm trying to tell you, that was their heyday. When that plantation house down in Louisiana got torched, okay? I'm telling you, that broke them. But I just want to. You know what? I want to teach them a little bit more history. If I have your attention, right? If I have your attention, right? This is some history that a lot of people don't know. Okay, but y'all didn't know Black Americans had white servants. Y'all ain't know that. I mean, it wasn't widespread or anything like that, but we had white servants. Yeah, and they wanted to be our servants because they needed work. They were coming over from Europe. Yeah, and they were docile too. Yeah, they were docile, and Black Americans, the aristocrats, the wealthy ones, because they were wealthy ones. Okay, they had white servants. So I don't know if y'all ever see them pictures. Let me find a picture. I couldn't find a picture. I wasn't gonna go back and try to find a picture, but if you can watch videos, you'll be able to find a picture of possibly some Black people in the horse-drawn carriages, and there may be someone white as the horseman or the I'm not sure what you call them, coachman or whatever. Yeah, he worked for them. Yes, indeed. It was a big thing. It was a big thing, when everybody began to see in the early 1900s, what? Black Americans, they use the other word. Black Americans have white servants. Yeah, that's a bit of history they don't like to put on TV. And the reason for it is because they were like, okay, they had white people here that they could hire, and they also had Black people here that they could hire, but they felt that the white people from Europe were so docile, and they were less expensive. Now, they weren't the only ones who thought that. The wealthy white people thought that too. The wealthy white people were like, yeah, we like the docile immigrant white people. They're a lot cheaper. They take less money. Yeah, so there's a bit of history for you. Oh yeah, it was like that. Oh yeah, because they knew they would have to pay Black Americans a lot more. Lot more. So they always went for the immigrant. And see, when the Black Americans hired the white immigrants, they were like really like, yes, we will do it, because they want to stay in America. Here's the difference though. Black Americans didn't mistreat them. They didn't mistreat them at all. But anyway, that's just a little side note. But yeah, to the white farmers again, this is the last thing you want. The last thing you want is for Black Americans to be out in your fields. The last thing you want. Trust and believe. And next time, you know what? Stop basing your vote on how to harm Black Americans, because you're going to end up running into that wall that's going to tumble. Okay? That's what's going to end up happening. Stop doing that. All of you do it. Like, all of you. You had the conservative Asian Americans coming through with the whole Ivy League school. We don't want Black Americans there. Then you had the I will vote for Donald Trump Cubans, okay, who were thinking, okay, you're next, okay, we're not immigrants, so we're not next. And now we have the white farmer who thought that they were going to get the Black Americans in the fields, and then this is all off of Project 2025. So now look where you got America. Look where you got the United States of America. And a lot of people say, why Black Americans think everything revolves around them? No, y'all think everything revolves around us because y'all make everything revolve around us. Y'all stuff coming out.
Yo, there's a Black farmer on here named John Boyd, and he was on the Don Lemon show, and he was telling his story. Said that he's been farming for over 42 years in America, and he's reaching out to these institutions for financial help, and he's asking them for a loan, and they are denying him. Now, with with all of us on TikTok, all of us, all of us, we're here, right? I say we help him. I'm not good at organizing, but I'm willing to donate. And if he doesn't want to take the money, maybe he could take it as a loan and he could repay the people that loaned it to him some way. I don't know how it's going to work, guys, but we have to work it out for this black farmer, and we have to help more black farmers. Like, this app can do so much good if we use it the right way. We're all on it. We can gather, we could communicate, we could talk, we could make plans, but we have to help each other. And I think we should all help this black farmer get some funds. We should all put together, donate what we can, or lend what we can to this black farmer. That's it.
So yesterday I made a video talking about the white farmers and how they were crashing out all over social media because they voted for Shitty Bridges and thought he was going to give them back slaves. And also because of that, they lost 100% of their workforce due to the ICE raids. I want to come on here today and I want to give some love to black farmers who I don't think get enough, right? I can appreciate that they are not on the internet spazzing out and crashing out. You want to know why? It's because whatever is going on in the current climate when it comes to farming, they're not new to this because they have faced adversity, not being given what they need in order to be successful, unlike their white counterparts, right? Because they have been spoon-fed everything they've needed in order for them to be successful. And now that that privilege and entitlement is gone because of who they voted for, they on the internet trying to garner some favor and some sympathy. Meanwhile, black farmers chilling. They cool as cucumbers because guess why? They know how to handle themselves and their farms during times of crisis. I guess favor ain't fair after all, huh?
So my good sis J-Doll says she wants to see the clip. She said, let me see the clip. Ask and you shall receive.
Back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so now that you have actually heard the clip, that you've heard the recording for yourself, let's actually break down exactly what Donald Trump has said so far. He started off that clip or that recording stating, how, they have policies and plan of trying to help the farmers, right? Because they desperately need these migrant workers. They need these undocumented migrant workers. They can't leave them without anybody. That right there is admission that the United States agriculture economy is taking a hit behind his policies and his mass deportations. That's the first thing. Donald Trump stresses the fact that the American farmers cannot be left without anybody. They cannot be left without anybody. And then he further goes on by saying that the undocumented migrant workers that he once was calling illegal criminals are very, very special people. They're very, very special people that cannot be easily replaced. Right after Donald Trump makes that statement and say that they cannot be replaced easily, he goes right into stating that people, inner city people, are not doing that work. Words have meanings, okay? When it comes to this government and this American society, when they say inner people, they're referring to black people. And when he said that kind of work, he's talking about field work. In addition to him stating that inner city people will not be doing that kind of work, he goes on by saying that I've tried. We've tried. Everybody's tried. You know who everybody is? The American government, white supremacy. And do you want to know what their version of trying was? DEI eliminations. DEI eliminations. And not just that, but the undoing of
this topic. It's about the Nebraska farmers. They are begging black Americans to go work in their farms because there's nobody to work in their farms. This is because most people who are running their farms, they were undocumented immigrants, and now they're gone. And the others who are left, they fear going to work in their farms because of the CIA. Wow. This is what happens when you vote from a place of hate and not logic. You chose Trump, yeah? You chose white supremacy. And now you want black Americans to come save you? Wow. You knew Trump was going to deport immigrants. You knew what his agenda was, but you still went ahead to vote for him. Not because it would help you and help your farm, but because whiteness meant more to you than humanity. You are not thinking about your labor force. You are not thinking about the economy, but because you didn't want the idea of a black woman leading you. You know, this is fascinating because black Americans were historically denied land and farming tools. And now the same system is asking them to come save agriculture. Let me remind you of a bit of history. You know, like our ancestors, they worked in these farms for free. They were whipped, they were broken, they were killed in a system that still benefits from today. They gave land to white immigrants, you know, but what did they give us? They gave us sharecropping, they gave us Jim Crow and redlining. They created a system that made it nearly impossible for black families to own land, let alone pass it. To the people of Nebraska, you never know what you have until it's gone. Hatred does not help, you know, it doesn't win. And racism is a bad business.
The truth of the matter is that when white people are going to vote Trump into the government, they were not voting Trump because maybe they loved him so much or something like that. But the truth is that when they were voting Trump in the government, they were voting Trump so that Trump can be able to, because of the manifesto that Trump came with. Trump talked about deportation of the black people and all that, of the immigrants and all that. And white people felt like America is going to remain with the Americans alone. They felt like America remaining with the Americans alone, it is something that is a very big achievement and it will make them feel better and goosebumps and all that. Okay, so they voted to punish the black people because, according to the manifestos of Donald Trump, uh, black people, they were the ones who like were mentioned a lot because of how he was saying, and the things that he was saying reflected or pointed to the black people at large. And therefore white folks thought that maybe Donald Trump is going to be the best president for doing whatever the things he want to do. They went ahead, they voted Trump in the government, and Trump came in and Trump started doing things. You know, right now he doesn't even listen to anybody, he doesn't listen to what they say, he just do things the way he want to do. And they're furious, they're angry, yeah, they're confused right now because everything is going bad. Black boys used to work in their farms, they're being deported back to their countries. Yeah, you know, we're not saying that deporting people is bad, and we're not saying that maybe uh, people should come to your country illegally and all those kind of things. But I think Trump should have considered the people in his country, or he should have considered the white people who are suffering. The problem that is there is that they're crying every day and their farms are being destroyed, but Trump does not care. And it's clear that it's people of the lower standards who are suffering the most. And it's the people of the lower standard, the same people who got the pride to wake up one morning and go and vote Trump in the government. Okay. Now, I feel like the target was to take black people out of America. That was the way to make America great again, according to the government that was coming and according to the existing government of Donald Trump. And they forgot that the people we are taking out of this country are the people who have built this country to where it is right now. You see, black people have been able to build America. America is looking the way it's looking like because of the efforts and because of the energy, because of the strength of the black people. Black people, whether they're there legally or illegally, many of them have been able to build America to the extent that it is, to where it's looking. We can't argue on that because it's very simple. Yeah, before the slavery happened, I don't think if America was looking the way it's looking like, but the labor from the black people has really made America great. And by taking black Americans out of America, or the immigrants out of America, it means you want to worsen America. I think the narrative should have been black people have made America great in all the years. And if you want to continue making America great, Kamala Harris said that somebody should not lie to you that he want to make America great again because their country has always been great. America has always been great. And my question or my maybe view on that is that America has always been great because black people have made America great always. And you taking Americans or black Americans out of America is not making America great again because you cannot take the only people who have made your country great out of your country in the name of you making your country great again. That is brainwashing people. And just to prove to you that black people have made America great, look at what is going on. Look at what the white people are going through after this deportation began. Look at what and how they are suffering. Look at how they're crying because they can't have the black labor they've been having. They can't have the black strengths in their fields like they've been having. They can't have the hand of help from the black people like they've been having because many of them have been taken out of their countries and they feel like this one is draining us. Yeah, so they keep on crying every day. They keep on suffering every day and nothing is happening. Nothing new, nothing good is happening. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's even bothering them. They're just suffering and crying and all that. They feel like things are really, really difficult. So they want black people to come on there to save them. But black people who are still in the United States of America, they're like, we're not going to save you. We're not part of it. We are not even looking forward to come again on and try to save you, something like that, because maybe you would have listened to us before you went on and voted Trump in the government. Maybe it would have been better, but because you didn't listen to us, now I don't think if there is another way that we can be able to help you. Okay, so me, I just think next time it's gonna be a lesson that is learned the hard way. And I don't think if next time they're gonna make the same mistake or something like that because actually it is actually very, very frustrating to see that somebody is asking you to do something, then you go ahead and do it, and at the end of the day you're suffering. Yeah, so I think if we people are supposed to be voting, we shouldn't be voting to maybe frustrate other people or to maybe make other people suffer. You see, what goes around always comes around. You go to the ballot voting against other people because you want them to suffer, punishing them, and at the end of the day, the same punishment you wanted to happen to some other people, it's also now happening to you. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I do the comments and give a response where possible. This is the Black Empire. Welcome again.